So, let's say you had a bad parent, or two, or three, or four. I know that the people I've met in my life, it's a skewed example because I'm going to attract people that have perhaps similar experiences to work through. I think that a lot of times people come into our life to reflect and mirror things that we need to become more conscious of. So I know that my experience of who I've met has not been really that representative, but nevertheless, almost everybody that I've met has had some form of bad parenting when they were growing up. And I think until we recognize how prevalent the problem is, it's just going to continue on. And you don't have to be locked up in a dungeon by satanic, ritualistic, kind of abusers to have had bad parenting. It could be that they didn't show much interest in you. It could be that they were overly critical. Or it could be that they just didn't know themselves, tried to live through you, or couldn't really be present with you in a contactful way because they didn't know how to be present and contactful with anyone. These forms of parenting affect people emotionally. And if you had some kind of bad parenting, then don't give in to this idea that we are simply doomed because of having a challenging childhood. It's just not the case. It's what we do with it that matters. And so if we tell ourselves that we're screwed and that we're going to be unhappy or be bad parents ourselves or whatever, then that's creating that reality. But the most important thing is to set boundaries with people if you're still in contact with the parents that were not effective, and let them know they need to change their ways or not have contact with you. A lot of times people don't set boundaries with family members in particular because they feel that would upset things too much, and so they just kind of perpetuate and re-expose themselves to negative vibes, and it never ends. In our culture where there's a lot of Christian influence, there's this concept of honor thy mother and father, which can be used by abusive people to control children and make them feel guilty. But this is an example of how these kinds of rules, these kind of religious rules, are not very useful and archaic, and so they need to be questioned. If you are in a situation where you're being abused and you want to get out of that situation like anyone who is being abused should want, then do everything that you can in terms of contacting other relatives, friends, families, people at school, whatever it takes to change your situation and not expose yourself to that. And if you're already an adult who's been through negative experiences, doesn't have to be like physical, sexual abuse, could be emotional, verbal, whatever it's been, neglect, then you don't have to go on honoring your parents or anybody that has hurt you. You just have to honor yourself, and that oftentimes does involve boundaries and working on personal healing and letting go and stop trying to change people, but just let them act out their issues elsewhere, because people always get situations that they need, to reflect to them what needs to change in their behavior and personality. And so it's only through enabling, which means overlooking obnoxious behavior. It's only through enabling people that we don't allow them the opportunity to get the honest mirroring that they need to change. So if you feel like concerned that you're not going to move beyond, trust me, I know that people can. I have seen it, I've experienced it, and no matter what you've experienced in your life, know that it is up to you to either focus upon your grief process, which leads to healing, or saying to yourself that it's all screwed up and there's no point in trying, and why bother? You can choose. Even if you're in pain, you still have the ability to choose. You still have free will when you're on that precipice between moving towards self-help and getting assistance, or doing some grief work, or trying to numb yourself out with drugs or entertainment, alcohol, whatever it is you use to escape your pain with. A lot of people that take a spiritual path have been through some tough stuff. That's what gets them interested in that. A lot of people that don't go through particularly difficult experiences, they never question what is given to them, so they just kind of participate in society in an unconscious kind of way and get whatever benefits they can find through work and travel and entertainment and that kind of thing like that. But a lot of people who are here to have a deeper experience, people who are old souls, or people that are ready to have a more powerful understanding of life, they're going to experience challenges as a catalyst that gets them looking around and finding different ways of looking at reality, and that can be what leads to their awakening. So don't give up. Don't feel that you have to always be stuck, and set boundaries when you need to.